swear we eating Goop Scoop. Y'all niggas really want some Goop Scoop? In the hood, we eating fucking Goop Scoop. Every morning, get you a scoop of that Goop. Get your motherfucking hand out my goddamn Goop Scoop. Another nigga hand was in my damn Goop Scoop. Mix it up. Mix that nigga hand up. We gon' slide it around, ride it around.
And we're back in it. This is going to be the official second episode of the Bamfcast where, I don't know, just I like to kind of talk a little unedited, a little off script. Maybe it'll sound, rambly at times, but man, I gotta tell you right now, on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, there's this guy named, I'm gonna say it's something super 14K, supparay 14K is his name, I'm pretty sure. Dude, this guy has me just dying. I keep seeing his videos posted on like a bunch of other accounts, but I think that's officially his. But dude, he's gotten bigger from making videos like where he narrates like a bunch of other stuff. But dude, my favorite ones is where he's narrating like meals from like rural or just somewhere in India, like it's some random Indian street food, dude, and it's like so gnarly and like kind of so gross because dude, they never use any utensils. Like everything's on the ground. Everyone's always barefoot and like stepping on food to prepare it. It's like kind of wild. But dude, one of the most legendary videos is the one where he calls it the Goop Scoop. Bro, I might sneak that video in at the start of this just so you get like a better frame of reference. But it is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, someone might say, yeah, that's a little, I guess it's insensitive about people's culture or whatever. But at the same time, though, it like, dude, you could get some serious like foodborne sicknesses like from that shit, dude. Like it is crazy. I've been spending time watching, working on some stuff, but also just having podcasts on in the background. That's how I pass a lot of my time nowadays. I used to listen to a lot of music, still do, like I kind of like to save that for the gym and podcasts, or when I'm just chilling. But dude, like one of my favorite ones, well, I would say favorite, but one I've been watching a lot is Ian Bick, dude. He does like a bunch of, I really like fucked up shit. I like deviance. I like crime. I don't know. I'm just like really interested in that. And he has a YouTube like podcast channel, whatever, where he's interviews, people who's been locked up in like the penitentiary for, whatever amount of years, and just like goes into their story. And it's like super interesting. But dude, there's this one guy who he had, I can't remember what all he was going through. He was going through like a bunch of stuff, but I'm pretty sure he was like a drug dealer, and he ended up getting popped and had to go to jail for like, dude, it was like 14 to 18 years. Maybe he got like 40 years. It was some kind of insane number, but he got out a little bit, like a lot earlier. And when I was listening to the story, dude, it had me cracking up because he was sitting there and he's talking. He's like, yeah, at the time, I think he just had a daughter, or maybe he had a daughter, and he was married to this, he's like, it was like the love of my life, yada, yada, whatever, I thought she was going to try to stay the whole time, but it was like a reality. It's like, dude, you're going to possibly be in here for 40 years. Like, so she kind of started her own life, got married to some other guy, and basically stayed with that guy for, years, man. Like, they had been together forever while this dude was in jail. And then the guy that was in jail, the drug dealer originally, dude, he's like, yeah, so, I wanted to forget everything because, I really loved her, and I just needed to move on. Dude, turns out she's like, I miss you, I love you. And dude, she goes back to the guy, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, that has to be like so shitty from the other guy's perspective, right? You always like, she probably talks about, oh yeah, my ex-husband, he's in jail. Oh, not going to worry about him, whatever. And dude, she just like leaves you and gets with the guy that you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, dude, I kind of seeing it from his perspective. I'm feeling for this guy. He's just like, damn it, he's like, all along, dude, she was thinking about this motherfucker. But dude, while I was watching some more YouTube, like since my feed's just mostly podcasts now and random gaming videos, I had the autoplay on, and like a little compilation of Matt and Shane's secret podcast. Like, dude, if anybody is seeing this, listening to this, whatever, dude, check that out. Like, if you like podcasts, it's so funny, especially like some of the older ones, dude. It's like one of the only Patreons I've ever subscribed to in my life. But there was one where like Matt and Shane of Matt and Shane's secret podcast, they're interviewing John McAfee, like the John McAfee before he died, which is super huge, like crazy legendary. And they always kind of like start poking at him to kind of, just be funny because that's what they do. There's comedians. So, dude, and they talk about, there's like rumors of him like having like a poop fetish, or like someone, what allegedly John McAfee had someone like sit on like glass, or they had like a glass table, and then they would like shit on it like while he's under it, right? And like, dude, when they bring it up, like I'm pretty sure like Matt brings it up. He's like, so have you heard that someone was like, you had a girl like sit in a hammock or something above you and then poop? And he's like, well, what whose business is that? He's like, John McAfee's like, whose business is that? If I want to do this or that, my sexual experiences would just, that'd just be a scratch on the surface of my sexual experience. Dude, Matt, without missing the beat, he's like, oh, dude, so you're saying you've had somebody from like a really high, like from like a from a mega, like, from a super high, you got like a mega splat of poop. And dude, like, I just lose my mind. That's like one of the funniest things. I actually need to watch that interview or that podcast with him on there. Like, dude, some of those like Skype, or not Skype, what the fuck am I saying? Like Zoom or whatever. Some of those Zoom podcasts are actually like really funny. Like, I think some of those are secretly some of the best that they've done, like just little gems. But it was just hilarious because it definitely caught McAfee off guard. You can tell he kind of cracked. He's like, dude, you've got the mega splat. You've had a real high up dump, dude. Dude. Oh my god, dude. And I don't know why I'm thinking this now. Christmas is well past. We're almost done with January, but one thing I was thinking of, man, is how like salty people are. Like, humans are so predictable, man. Like, if someone has something good going and like they post it online, well, not even post it, if they just have something good going on, like, people like kind of hate you. Like, just hate you for no reason. Dude, there was I remember it was maybe the first couple days after Christmas, and I was seeing videos of people, posting their trees, posting their like just like of the presents, right? Like, it's the whole setup, like the tree, the presents combo, and dude, some of the presents were insane, dude. Like, not insane, like, but there's just like a huge volume of gifts, which like it's kind of cool, like whatever. I didn't think anything about it. I was like, oh, dude, that's pretty epic. And then you go in the comments and everyone's like, well, I couldn't afford Christmas for my kids this year, so I would never spoil my kid. And it's like, dude, do you even know who these presents are for? They could have like literally a giant family coming over, and it is like it literally doesn't matter. Like, I just don't see why you see people like projecting like their bullshit onto something they have like no clue about. Like, I can't think of a more useless time of your energy is to like leave comments like that, dude. Like, just think, man, like, to sit there and like drum up a comment about someone just posting their like, you seem so miserable. And first of all, dude, if you're like upset about bro, you can get like your kids, you can make something, like you could do something. Like, it's just like, no, we're not doing anything, and I'm gonna go, and kids, actually today, since we're not having Christmas, I'm gonna go on TikTok and talk shit to people who are posting shit about their Christmas trees and all their fucking presents. Dude, that's psychotic, dude. And also, just thinking about it, it's not just because of Christmas, dude. Those are just kind of sour people probably across the board, dude. But man, like, I just don't know what's up with people. Like, I sometimes, I always wonder what's up with myself, but there's just some things that come out of left field. Like, kind of reminds me, I think I was watching another podcast or listening to another podcast, and they were talking about, I don't even remember who this was from. They were talking about it's a movie, it's called There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. I think that's the name of the movie, or is a book. I can't remember. But it's about, the story of a woman who, I don't think she ever drank. She was like, really nice person, like, just, model citizen, good, like, solid person. And then one day she just like crashes into a she just crashes into like this like parkway or something like that, just like crashes into all these people. Like, I think she ended up killing like a lot of people. But when they found her, dude, she had like a crazy blood alcohol level. Like, I think it was like a fucking 0.2 or something, dude. It's crazy. And I think she had smoked weed before. I think it's like she was like a casual user, but she never drank and was like a, like I said, straight laced, pretty normal person. And just one day she just doesn't come into work or something like that, and they find out that she had just killed herself when she had drove into that like into that crowd of people or whatever it was. And it's just like, dude, like people's brains just do crazy things. Like some people are like, maybe she was having a stroke, maybe she was having like some kind of mental thing go on, or maybe it's like a health concern. And dude, that reminded me, man, it's just like speaking of just like people just do, like the brain can do crazy shit. I remember, man, this was, I don't remember who told me. It was a girlfriend of one of my friends that I was with like earlier in college. And they were telling me that they were like, yeah, this girl, she had an exam, like a final. I don't even think it was a final. I think it was just an exam. She had an exam and she was about to have to walk in and take it, but she was like totally unprepared, like didn't study for it, didn't know what, anything that she was doing. So anyway, she's just sitting in her car and she looks up and there's this like where she's parked, there's like the brick wall, like where she's parked in, like where she's pulled in. Dude, she backs up and then floors it and smashes her car into the fucking brick wall, dude, and then takes a picture of it and tells her like, oh, I can't come in to do the test, I'll have to bro, just say you have diarrhea. This bitch like just risked her life. I mean, granted, she just hit a wall, but like, dude, you just like totaled your car. Like, because it was like crazy. She like backed up and like, dude, just completely wrecked her car for like something where she'd be like, I think you just say, I just want to reschedule it, or just, I got diarrhea, something, man. Like, it's so wild, dude. But to this day, dude, I wonder what that girl's doing now. Like, because if you're taking like, that's the type of behavior where you just like one day just up and leave your kids and start like another family, or that's like wild behavior, dude. I don't know though. I can't really say much because stress definitely, like, it definitely makes people do very unpredictable things sometimes. But that's just, I mean, I feel like you should manage it a little bit better, dude. It's just, it kind of, not that this is anything related, but dude, I remember, what is it, man? I was like maybe 7th grade. Dude, I remember like we had this one teacher, and I don't think I ever had her as a teacher, like an official teacher, but we were doing something one day where we had to be in her class. Maybe I did. Her name was like Miss Irvin or some shit like that, dude. And she was always kind of like hot-headed. She was cool for the most part, but dude, I remember one day, like, I don't know what we were talking about. I don't know if it's like the economy or something. And the teacher had a kid like that was actually in the class. So her daughter was in one of her classes. And dude, one of the most embarrassing things, like, I know she's like probably stressed out, but just to kind of like bring this out, like in front of the class, especially when your daughter's there, she's like talking about how like they just couldn't afford anything and they were like super broke. And she's like, well, my husband had to start driving a truck that has a bomb attached to the back of it. I guess he drove like a gas truck or something like that, so we can survive to live and all this stuff. And I remember just everybody's like looking around like, what the fuck is this bitch going on about, dude? And like, I remember just seeing her kid just sitting there like, oh, well, I'm totally used to just taking these weird, like, dude, that was just, I felt so bad for the kid, like, because like she was, I don't know, man. It was just, you really just putting out your family's business like that, and like trying to, and also, dude, like you have 2 working parents, like you guys have like you have a truck driver, and you have like, you're teaching school. Like, I know teachers don't get paid shit, especially back then, because this was back in dude, like 2000. So, teachers didn't get paid much, but dude, you got kids there, man, that are super poor, dude. I know there's a couple of kids, there's probably the next class over, that were like literally probably living out of like a fucking box, dude, like, or had no electricity or some shit. So it's just like, dude, why are you, I don't know, like, I just feel like that's super unprofessional. I always think back about the daughter of that teacher just like sitting there like, ugh. But dude, shit, circling back to that fucking, like the people just being jealous of people like having stuff, dude. I'm telling you, man, and any way it shows up, like these patterns of behaviors, like if it's something that's like probably going to happen that a person could do it, like there's like I don't know if it's like a Murphy's Law, I don't know if I'm using that right, but it's an opportunity for something like a reaction to happen out of someone from, that's a really common, behavior that comes out, but it's like, I'm not expecting, but it's like maybe a 40% chance, like it's probably going to happen. I remember back, dude, this guy Bobby, man, he's one of those friends, man. I don't know if some of you have this. You have a friend, they're kind of a friend, but not really. I don't know. I was kind of weird back when I was a kid because I just was so neglected. I just wanted friends, you know what I mean? Especially being an only child. And I remember me and him, we would talk about like a lot of rap music and stuff like that. And I remember, dude, I used to be a big Eminem head, dude. I used to fucking love Eminem so much. Dude, it was the album that came out. It was like the black and white album. I don't even remember his albums anymore. Maybe his second or third album that came out. And he couldn't get it because his grandma was just like super like she wouldn't let him listen to like shit like that, you know. She was more protective or whatever. Because and I remember my mom, he was hanging out at the house, man, and my mom came to pick me up to get that CD. Like it was like the day it came out or something like that. So I went to go pick up that CD, and I was telling him like, "Yo, dude, you know I'm gonna get the new Eminem CD, whatever." And like my memo, like she would probably not buy it for me if she really knew what was there, but she was kind of little more lenient or a little more strict, or actually a lot more strict. My mom had like no filter. Like I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to. I could listen to whatever I wanted to, and like my mom was coming to pick me up to buy that, and I think that his like as she's picking me up, his grandma's there to pick him up, and as we're both like about to leave, you know, he's like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go pick up this CD, and I think he was like, I guess he's just jealous. And dude, like when we're leaving, he goes, that's a dirty CD. Like her mom was like, oh, let's go get your CD or whatever. And he's like, that's a dirty CD. There's a lot of bad words in that. That's a dirty CD. And like my grandma's like, okay. And then like mom's just like, what the fuck is this kid going on about, dude? And so we leave, and I remember my mom going like, dude, and he's like Bobby fucking just went off on that CD. What the hell's wrong with the guy? And dude, it's because he's jealous. Because he was just like, because the next day he would be like, he was literally going to be like, oh, well, yeah, you're going to get that CD, but yeah, I fucking called you out in front of your, like, it was some weird shit, dude. I ended up getting in a fight with that kid. It was like one of my first fights I ever got into. Like he was like one of those kids too. Like after we got into high school, you couldn't tell if he was like a scene kid, an emo kid, or if he was like a fucking redneck. He was like literally dead in the middle. Like he's wearing like skinny jeans and his belt sideways, but he's just like, he was like dipping and like fucking hanging around all the mechanics and like, dude, I like all the shop kids, dude. It was so fucking weird, man. He was like, he was a weird dude. Thinking back about it, my friend that had the girlfriend that told me the story about the chick that crashed into the wall to get out of her exam. That guy was actually one of the first friends I started smoking with, and dude, he was telling me a story. It was like absolutely insane, dude. I kept wanting to say it was Fred. I think I've talked about Fred in previous videos, but I don't think it was Fred. I think this was like some guy they're trying to buy, because dude, getting bud in the early 2000s, man, was like insane. It felt like if you didn't have a regular connect, it was just so sketchy, dude. And dude, there's one time they I don't know how they met this guy, but they pull up. He's like, they tell him where to meet. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I know a guy, or they got word of someone else, and so they decide to go with this guy, and they pull up. And the dude, like, they come up and he's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, are we going to get robbed, dude? Because it was just like a gravel road and like a few like trailers or something that was off to the side. He was like, yeah. He's like, just park and you leave your lights on and I'll come out and meet you guys. So they're sitting out in the car, and they see a guy come out of the woods. Like he comes out of the woods and they're like, holy fuck, like is this like like they didn't know what the guy looked like. You know, they had just only spoke to him on the phone or text or whatever. And dude, he comes up, man, and keep in mind, like some of the guys that are like getting this weed, it's probably their first time smoking too out of this group. And so they pull up, and this guy slinks out of the woods, bro, and he's just like, hey man, check out these bags, you know, see which one you want. And it's dark outside. He just like kind of picked it up and looked at it, and he's like one of them kind of felt a little bit heavier. He's like, so I just kind of like, I was like, yeah man, this one's cool. He's like, all right. And he just like gives him the money, and like the guy goes back into the woods, dude. They drive back and they break out the bud, dude. And they're like, what the, like, dude, this is like sticky. And I think one of the other friends was just like, oh shit. So, you know, it's some pretty good shit. Cause dude, back then, dude, we weren't getting anything. There was no such thing as good weed back then. There just wasn't. And dude, well, at least like where we were from, like you just couldn't find anything that wasn't like just mid as fuck. And he's like, dude, it's like sticky. And he's like, he's like, dude, let me see it, bro. This guy had like he had like chewed gum and like rolled flakes of weed or like into the gum, dude, and like froze it or something, or it was just, or let it dry out so it was like really hard. And dude, he's like, bro, like I'm pulling like it's like tacky. He's like, dude, this guy just sold this fucking like a quarter of a gram of shake just rolled in bubble gum. It's like, dude, just give us the half gram at this point, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, dude, that was like one of the goofiest fucking like Looney Tunes weed stories I've ever heard of getting ripped off. But dude, those guys were really good friends. I don't really talk to them much anymore because I feel like a lot of those guys like just have a bunch of kids now and shit. Just don't, hanging doing other stuff. There's really just not in their schedule or whatever. And we've all moved away, whatever. But they were like, I'm telling you, man, like I don't know if it's like a stereotype, but there's this thing called what is it, man? Young Life, and it's like some kind of Christian little group organization thing. And see, like I've always been pretty much like atheist, whatever, my whole life. But I like, dude, from where I'm at, like in my hometown, there was just nothing to do. So I would tag along and go to their meetings and stuff, like. But dude, them Young Life kids, man, are some of the wildest kids, or at least they're definitely some of the most weed smoking, kids that I have ever met. Like that was just like the whole group was just stoners. And I remember, dude, why I love that friend group, dude. When I had moved up for college, I pretty much came up with, a majority of them, or a few of us, like all kind of came up together. And it's not that far, maybe a couple hours away from our hometown. It's like where we ended up like kind of relocating to go to college. But dude, this was around the peak time of what was it, chat roulette, man. Like it literally had just started. I don't know when chat roulette came out, but I'm pretty sure it was around this time. And dude, we used to like throw some crazy shenanigans on fucking chat roulette. There was one time, it was the best one. Like one of the friends, like his brother, like of the group, were up there, and his girlfriend, she's skipping through and she finds like a group of guys, and then she just starts saying, I don't know, that she starts like teasing them. She starts lifting her shirt up like she's gonna like plop out her titties. But what happens is she keeps getting closer and closer, and they're like, yeah, do it, let's see it, like do it. And dude, she would at last second, dude, she would move the camera over, and it'd be like her boyfriend or my friend's brother, dude. He would have like the bat wing out, dude. He'd like have his nuts stretched out, and they'd be like, oh. It's so hilarious. It's one of my favorite memories, dude. And also one time, dude, we had this like really, at this house, there's this like super gnarly basement. It like flooded all the time. It smelled like shit. It just looked like really kind of like just whatever the word is. It's like ran down. And dude, like we would all take the laptop downstairs into this like basement, and we would like have all the lights out and everything, and we would put like a pillowcase over one guy's head, and then they would like have his hands tied behind so I could be sitting in a chair, and they would be standing there with like machetes and shit, and like they would have they had like ski mask on, and so like when people just like skip to it, they'd see it and be like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? And dude, I'm like, bro, I'm surprised you guys didn't get the fucking cops call on you for that shit, dude. It was fucking wild, dude. I remember one time they took it like way too far, and I think they were acting like they were beating them or something like that. And someone's like, holy shit, dude, this is like some lively shit going on. And he's like, should we call the police? And I remember they like skipped, like, okay, dude, like let's dial down before we get our IP grabbed or some shit and get reported to the police. Man, another guy I've been seeing on TikTok, I think he goes by Stack Swoop or Swoop Stack. I think he might just go by Swoop. But dude, I will say it is like I don't even know how to. It is racist, but it's kind of not, because he's a black guy, but his accent is like of like a 19-year-old suburban kid is so good, dude. Like. It's just, he needs to be a voice actor like this. He is like, it is calling him. But dude, he's created like a whole like I don't know, man. It's just it's so like you have to just check it out. Like, but keep your volume kind of down, because it's there's a little like N-word action being thrown around. But that being said, dude, the character he is made out of that, like he does it like GTA RP, and he'll go around just fucking with people, being just baiting people like fake racism or some shit, dude. Dude, when he says dead homies, dude, dead homies, bro, it takes me out every single time. Like, it's just, you couldn't write, like, if you were to write that character in a script, it'd be like genius, dude. It's so funny, but like, it's it's like a little conflicted, because it's like, dude, he's just like trolling so many people. Like, he'll go up to like the you know how like people like literally like GTA RP, like there's like literal gangsters in the game, like they're just like RP and gang shit. He'll go to the most gang area and just start piping off with that dude. And, dude, it's entertaining. Like, yeah, I get it, but it's just, I don't know. But dude, on that note, TikTok also found out that I was black, or at least half black, because dude, my For You page, like my algorithm is so much more different than my like fiance's page. Like, she gets none of the black content that I get. Like, not even. You would think that she gets, like, dude, she doesn't get any like the stuff I see. And I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. Like, I feel like that's why I got the Goop Scoop, bro. I'm starting the video out with the Goop Scoop. Like, I feel like I get these like gems of just like random stuff. And dude, what I've come to realize is once it kind of finds out you're black on the algorithm, I was at that same time, I've been like watching a couple conspiracy videos or some shit like that too. So it's like my TikTok has merged both of those realms. So I'm on black conspiracy TikTok now, or my algorithm's like black conspiracies now, which, dude, like, lo and behold, it turns out that it, like, you know, the root of the whole thing at the end of all these conspiracies is just that someone's gay. Like, it's like, bro, like, black culture is just so weird against gay people. It's just like, it's like P. Diddy has, you know, he's in the Illuminati. He's got people wearing dresses. He's got people doing these weird cult things so he can suck them off. It's like, bro, Diddy, you can just be gay, dude. Like, no one can. It doesn't have. You don't have to just get like millions of dollars and start some kind of weird ring of just ceremonies and shit. You could just be a gay guy. It's okay, dude. Like, it's like they just kind of think of Diddy as like the black Alfred Ashford from like Code Veronica or something, dude. It's hilarious. And it's just like every black conspiracy video is like, yeah, and he's like, it's either they're gay or they're what is it? Or they're clones. It's like, or they're gay clones. It's like Lil Nas X. He is actually a clone of the real Lil Nas X, who's, dude, it's like wild. It's just like, bro, like, it's just the conspiracies on black TikTok are just super interesting. But dude, I will say, like, I feel like it's more, if you see them, I feel like you see them across the board, but I feel like they're really heavily more targeted on the black TikTok side, or there's like super fucking shitty podcasts, dude, where there's like, they're talking about like relationship stuff. It's like, well, if you're a man, you gotta, like, dude, it's so lame. It's so stupid. Like, I've never like, if anyone ever pays attention to 5 seconds of one of those videos and considers it seriously, like, bro, you're gonna be alone forever, or you're gonna marry a sociopath. Like, it's just one or the other, dude. Just to be honest, like, I've talked about this before, but it just reminds me of like when you work in like a manufacturing or a factory, some shit, dude. Those videos are made for those people, because if you work into a factory, bro, you'll see that after you're there for a little while, you'll see that like a lot of those people, at least the one I was at, like, dude, all of them were cheating on their fucking wives, dude. Like, so one guy was just like a 23-year-old. He had, I think a kid or two with his wife, and he's like banging all first of all, he's banging all the Spanish girls, or at least one of them. And I'm like, dude, you don't even speak Spanish. So like, they're probably just talking mad shit about you. Or like, dude, like, one of them spicy Latinos are just going to get pissed and fucking just go blow up your fucking wife's Facebook account and say what you're doing. But dude, those videos are made for people like that. Like, everyone at that place, that like all the like the younger not machine operators, but the maintenance guys, dude, the younger maintenance guys were all like trying to bang someone else at all times. It was just so crazy. I'm like, dude, like, can't you like lose your kid and like your well-being? It's just so much on the line, dude. I'm like, bro, there's just some people out there who have literally never thought like anything for themselves. They're like, dude, what do I like? No, there's people out there that's never thought that, dude. And there's like, well, I'm bored. Let me just cheat on my wife now and potentially just have some to get my thrill in. It's just so wild, dude. There's just so much risk. It's like, dude, just leave her and just be single, dude. Like, I don't, dude. And well, that's where those shitty podcasts come in to swoop in. People like that are like, oh, like, yeah, I think it's totally okay to cheat on my woman, but you know, she can't cheat on, you know, me. It's like, dude, what? Like, do you have an open relationship? No, like, man should just be able to fuck whoever he wants. It's like, dude, you guys are so weird. Like, and that's gonna be about it for this one. I will get better at doing these, but I'm going off script. I kind of like forcing myself to do that. It kind of works on my speech a little bit better. Just, and I didn't even realize that was a skill I'd be developing from doing these videos and stuff. But maybe I'll stay on a little bit more of a script. I don't know. I kind of like speaking more genuinely and just having some ideas in my head of things that's just been happening the past, you know, few days, whatever it is. So, but guys, remember, drop a follow, drop a like, and remember to always take it easy, gamers.